The Poppy Factory by Liz Trenow. Read by Maggie Mash. In Flanders fields the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard, amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. John McCrae, 1915. Chapter 1. An uneasy silence fell as the plane lurched bumpily around a spiral holding pattern above Heathrow. England was somewhere below, shrouded in slate-grey clouds. Even the lads had finally stopped talking. On reaching safe airspace, half an hour out of Camp Bastion, 6 long months of constant fear and tension had been released, like a spring-loaded jack-in-the-box, into an eruption of shouting, singing and laughter. They'd bellowed loud boasts across the aisles, detailing exactly what and how much they would drink on their first night of leave in 6 long, dry months, and bragged raucously about the sexual conquests they would make, forgetting that the two activities were usually incompatible. They'd embroidered ever more unlikely details about how they would spend their long overseas allowance, the main bonus of the tour. And just a few of them, in quieter voices, had talked of family, parents and siblings, wives, girlfriends and children, the comfort of their own beds, and real home-cooked food. She'd come to tolerate, and sometimes even enjoy the lads' banter, their insults and juvenile pranks, their lavatory humour. She knew now that it was just the way they got through. Underneath they were thoughtful human beings, with the same fears as anyone else. For all their piss-taking and petty squabbling, when everything kicked off, they'd gladly give their lives for each other. Some had even done so. She ran the names through her head: Jock, Baz, and Millsy. The girls, seated together in their small group, had spent the 8-hour flight reading, plugged into headphones, or, like Jess, wondering what this longed-for homecoming would really be like. She listened to the changing notes of the engine, and watched the wing flaps rise and fall as the pilot adjusted his position to the instructions of unseen masters. How unearthly it felt, suspended in this grey soup of cloud, with heaven knows how many other aircraft above and below. Giant metal birds, flying terrifyingly close to each other at hundreds of miles an hour. In Afghanistan, she had discovered that her fear of dying seemed to be inversely proportional to the level of danger they were in. Thanks to the blessed pulse of adrenaline, the more life-threatening the situation, the less frightened she felt. It was only afterwards, once they were safely back in their compound, that she found herself trembling and nauseous, realizing how close to death she had come. Now that they were so nearly home and safe, just not quite, she found her stomach churning. But it wasn't the fear of a mid-air collision or a crash landing. What she dreaded most right now was that in a few days' time, this rowdy bunch of rough-carved individuals would be split up, probably never to live and work together as a group again. Over the past 6 months, they had become more important to each other than anyone else in the world. They'd shared such highs and such lows, seen all life and all death,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?